Hello, my name is Christopher Renstrom, and I'm your weekly horoscope columnist here on Astrology Hub. And this week, I wanted to talk to you about the Venus-Jupiter conjunction taking place in the zodiac sign of Aries on March 1st.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Astrology Hub's Academy. Wherever you are on your astrology journey, we have a class that will help you get to the next level.
Conjunctions. What is a conjunction? A conjunction is when two planets come together to be in the same place at the same time in the nighttime sky. Now, they don't actually come together in a sort of when worlds collide sort of way. They just sort of come together in the way that they appear to us. Their actual positions to one another are just millions of miles apart. But in the way that they appear to us in the nighttime sky, they look to be pretty much almost on top of each other. Kind of like with the clock hands, when the hour hand reaches the point of 12, as does the minute hand. You get 12 noon. So the two hands of the clock are in the same place at the same time. And that's the same thing that goes on with a conjunction between planets. They're in the same place at the same time in the nighttime sky. And you'll be able to see this conjunction between Venus and Jupiter just shortly after sunset. It's a lovely and a glorious sight. In fact, the two of them have been gradually coming together in the nighttime sky, and it will be on March 1st when they are at the same place at the same time. Now, a conjunction is a bringing together of planetary energies. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It all depends on the planetary energies that are being brought together, the planets that are aligning themselves in the nighttime sky. And in our case, it happens to be fortunate because the two planets come together in the nighttime sky are Venus and Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter are known as Benefics in astrology. Now, there are two classes of planets in astrology. There's Benefics and there's Malefics, all right? The Benefics, as I just said, are Venus and Jupiter. These are the planets that bring good things. They bestow gifts. They shower upon us their blessings. And the reason why Venus and Jupiter were known as Benefics in astrology is because of the quality of light. If you look at their light, like you'll be able to just after sunset when the two of them are together in the nighttime sky, if you look at their light is pure and beautiful, okay? It's each planet on its own, Venus or Jupiter, is resplendent. I mean, if you look out at nighttime sky and see them, you can't help but notice them. Your eye is attracted right to them. They're that beautiful and gorgeous and pure. And so when they come together, this is supposed to be a good thing. It's bringing together these energies in a blessed and beneficial way. But that's why Venus and Jupiter were called the Benefics. It was their quality of light being pure and bright. Now, the Malefics are Mars and Saturn, and they were called the Malefics because their light wasn't as pure and wasn't as bright. Mars's light is red. Sometimes it's a reddish brown and looks rather querulous, and hence the reputation for being querulous. This is why Mars was named after the Roman god of combat and battle. And Saturn's light was pale and faded. And when it moved in the nighttime sky, it just took a very long time to make its way across the nighttime sky. So Saturn was seen as being enfeebled and old and pale and maybe a little on the decrepit side, a little bit of halitosis, maybe something along those lines, broken down and decrepit was Saturn's energy, and that was its reputation. So Saturn and Mars were seen as malefics. They didn't bring good things. Mars would bring combat, for instance, and Saturn would bring old age and disrepair. And the benefics always brought good things. Venus brought beauty and grace and love, and Jupiter brought good fortune and the higher purpose that often attends it. Okay, and so these are the two classifications of the planets in astrology. So benefics, as I've just said, bring good things. And so with Venus and Jupiter coming together in the zodiac sign of Aries, we are expecting good things. We are expecting good things, especially for people born under the zodiac sign of Aries. Or if you happen to be so fortunate as to have Venus in Aries in your horoscope or Jupiter in Aries in your horoscope. Now, this conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Aries, the last time we had this conjunction was 12 years ago. Might be a bit of a stretch for some of you out there, but you'd have to think back to May 2011 to see what sorts of good things were going on then, if any. And if there were, then this perhaps might be a hint or an indication of what to expect on this go-round. Now, what is each planet's mission? That's the question that we want to ask with a conjunction. When the planets come together, they don't come together and fuse their energies to act as one. No, one is bringing something, the other is bringing something, and they're coming together, all right, to present, essentially. Okay, so with Venus, we want to ask, what is Venus's mission statement? What does Venus do? And the answer, of course, is that Venus brings people into your life. She's often portrayed as being a matchmaker, the matchmaker of astrology. But Venus can bring in good friends, can bring in lovers, can bring in people who want to see the best for you. Venus ushers in people into your life who bring good things. Now, I want to make a very quick distinction. Venus does not rule over familial relationships, okay? Familial relationships belong to the area of the moon, okay? So the moon is all about bloodlines, blood ties, anyone who's related to you by blood, okay? That's the moon. And so the moon rules over those bonds, all right? Those relationships. And Venus rules over everyone outside the family, okay? So it's not people that you are bonded to by blood. It's not anyone that you have a very strong emotional bonding with. It's people whom you are meeting and people who are coming into your life and who are going to grace your life with something, and you in turn will be gracing their lives with things as well. So the types of people that Venus is going to bring into your life are people that you click with. These are people that you get along with. So her mission is to find the people in life and bring them into the orbit of your life. Find the people who love the same music, who hate the same politicians, and who are thinking the same way that you're thinking and often can sort of say it before you even say it yourself. These are people who have your best interests at heart. They're team, fill in your name. Okay, so for instance, if my name's Christopher, these are the people on Team Christopher. Okay, they want the best for me. All right, this is what Venus rules over. This is her job, is to go out and get the people who want the best for you. Because Venus knows that nothing done in your life is a solo effort, all right? Or no success that you're going to achieve in your life is going to be a purely solo effort. Venus's belief is that you achieve the best success when you have people who are in your corner, people who are being supportive of you, people who are making introductions for you, people who are benefiting you in some sort of way. In other words, no success in life is solo. Every success in life, according to Venus's point of view, is a cooperative effort. All right. And so this is her benevolence. This is how she is a benefic. Now, Jupiter acts a bit differently than Venus. Venus works through likes. Think of likes. You know, when you like something on an Instagram post or you like something on a Facebook post. Okay, Venus is likes. She collects these likes. This is what Venus is all about. Jupiter is a different type of benefic. Jupiter brings good fortune and higher purpose. All right. So Jupiter brings good fortune through essentially rewarding you and your best efforts. So success, for instance, according to your Jupiter, would be reward for your talent and for your hard work. Okay, so if you're talented at something, if you're gifted in something, all right, because we're talking about gifts, blessings, anything that's connected to a benefic energy. So if you're talented at something and you really apply it yourself to that which you are talented at, then you get recognition, you get success. And so success is your reward for making the most of your talents and for applying yourself. Love with Jupiter. Love is your reward for being likable. Okay, for being pleasant, for being polite, for helping people to help themselves. This begets love. This gets people to love you and think that you're wonderful. And so love is the reward for being likable. And plenty is something that's absolutely associated to Jupiter. And plenty is your reward for being generous. All right. And that could be generous with your finances of wealth, but that could also be generous with your attention, generous with your emotional availability, generosity of spirit, generous in terms of the way that you share the good things that happen in your life with those who might not be doing as well. Okay, so generosity of spirit is rewarded with plenty. Okay, and it's the idea of Jupiter of bringing more and more good into the world. This is how Jupiter multiplies itself, or a word that's often used with Jupiter is expand. This is how Jupiter expands its influence. It expands its influence through good and through good favor. But Jupiter, just to sort of clarify very quickly, Jupiter just doesn't give you good things. You don't sort of like load up your shopping cart and go to the, pay now function or something like that and get your good things. That's not how Jupiter works. Jupiter brings good things into your life for the express purpose of begetting more good. And this is something that I like to underline a lot when talking about Jupiter. Jupiter brings good things into your life for the express purpose of begetting more good. There's a phrase which comes from a movie that came out, I think, a couple of decades ago called pay it forward, or it's this idea of paying it forward, that whatever good deed has been done to you, you do unto someone else. Now, it's not the idea or the phrase pay it forward isn't transactional. All right. Transactions, as you know, are mercurial in their interaction and their interchange. So paying it forward isn't transactional. You don't do good back to someone who did good to you. That's not what Jupiter is about. What it is that if someone has done a good deed for you, one day, might be tomorrow, it might be in 20 years, one day, when you see someone struggling or having a similar difficult time of things, you will step in. You will be expected to step in and do good for that person. And that person oftentimes will be a stranger, will be someone that you don't really know. This is Jupiter's way of begetting good, of expanding the influence of good in the world. This is why this action that I just described, this is why Jupiter is the planet of charity. This is why Jupiter is the planet of philanthropy. It's doing good for people who you have no expectation of getting anything back from. It's done in order to make society a better place. And this is why Jupiter is called the greater benefic. Venus brings people together to create more people. Okay. Think of falling in love. Okay. Two people fall in love, they want to start a family. And so they create more people. Okay. So this is Venus. Venus brings people together. Maybe you fall in love, maybe you marry, and maybe if you marry, you decide to have a family. And nowadays anyone can. And so people are brought together to create more people. With Jupiter, the reason it's called the greater benefic is that it's groups of people who are brought together to create a better world. Okay, so if two people get together to create more people, Jupiter brings together people or groups of people together in order to create a better world. In other words, the idea being that those who are affluent or those who are doing well will come together and benefit those who are not. They are doing this to create a better world, and that is all done in the spirit of Jupiter. So, is this what to expect? Are we to expect good relations with Venus in Aries, conjoining philanthropy, good fellowship with Jupiter in Aries? Their conjunction, is that what this is supposed to bring? Theoretically, if it were just a conjunction of the planets, yes, that's exactly what it's supposed to bring. But planets conjoin in different signs. And we have 12 different signs of the zodiac. All right. For instance, a Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Pisces is not going to be the same flavor as a Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Virgo. A Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Sagittarius is not going to be the same as a Venus-Jupiter conjunction in the zodiac sign of Gemini. These are very different signs. And how that conjunction materializes is also going to be based on rulership and dignity. So when we're looking at Venus and Jupiter coming together in the zodiac sign of Aries, the planet that we're interested in terms of how to interpret this conjunction, is Mars. Why are we interested in Mars? Mars is the planet that rules the zodiac sign of Aries. Okay, and so this is basically how we always break down reading aspects like this. First of all, we want to ask ourselves, what's the aspect that's taking place between the planets? The aspect taking place between the two planets is a conjunction. A conjunction means that the planets are coming together to present their gifts or their attributes to you, all right, in your horoscope, in the sky. They are coming together in a zodiac sign. Right? So what's the zodiac sign that they're coming together in? The zodiac sign that they're coming together in is the zodiac sign of Aries. Aries is important to us, and it's important for us to know this because Aries is the zodiac sign of the spring equinox. This is the beginning of the agricultural year here in the Northern Hemisphere. So what we can expect is that this conjunction in the zodiac sign of Aries is going to bring blessing and good fortune to anything that is starting out. All right, that's a very simple way of reading the zodiac sign of Aries. Aries is the spring equinox. It's when we spring forward. Everyone get ready for that one. I think we lose an hour on that daylight savings adjustment. But Aries is spring. It's springing forward. It's youth. It's vitality. It's the beginning of something. So if you are beginning something right now, if you are beginning a relationship, you're beginning a romance, maybe you're beginning an endeavor, maybe you're starting out on a new path, or you're starting a new project, anything that's launching, all right? Anything that's starting out right now is blessed under the auspicious energies of the Venus and the Jupiter conjunction. Long story short, this is a good time to start something, okay? And if you're starting something or if it's in its infant stages, it's going to be getting support. It's going to be getting attention. It's going to be getting promotion, all right? Not in terms of people going out and saying, hey, get this, but promotion in terms of the energy is generative. It is promoting. It is under the auspices of Venus and of Jupiter. So this is a wonderful time to begin anything new and to begin anything different. What do we also get from Aries? What we get from Aries is a virility, all right? We get a virility and we get a strength and we get a potency. So things have strength right now. Your actions have strength. Your words have strength. Your volition, your willpower has strength, all right? So these things are being blessed by the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Aries as well. Now we want to move to the ruling planet. The ruling planet of Aries is Mars, okay? And Mars is basically the planet of, I want that in astrology, okay? So if there's something that you see, boy, I really want that, okay? Mars is going to be the planet that gets you up and out of your seat to make a grab for it, okay? So you're up and rushing after something. Think of, for those of you who have dogs out there, taking a stick or putting the ball in one of those throwers and throwing it, the dog goes racing after it, right? This is Mars. Mars races after what you want. Its whole job is to fulfill what you want. This is why Mars is connected to action, gumption, and drive in in a horoscope. This is what Mars does. So Mars is the ruler of Aries. And so Mars is basically, you can kind of think of it as your access code for accessing the energy of this Venus and Jupiter conjunction. So what does that mean? What it means is that the gifts and the blessings and the benefits of this Venus and Jupiter conjunction are not simply going to fall into your lap. Okay, that's not the way Aries works, and that's not the way Mars works. Okay, so this isn't a time when you can sort of wake up in the morning and be like, oh, what wonderful things will happen to me today. And you walk outside and everyone's like greeting or giving you $100 bills and, gold is raining on you and flowers are. No, it's not that. That's not how this is going to work. All right. Because this is a conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in the zodiac sign of Aries. And the ruling planet here is Mars. Okay. Mars is your access code. Think of it as the promo code, capital MARS, to click and get your discount. Okay. This is exactly what Mars is doing. So you have to embrace Mars energy. All right. And Mars energy is going to be embracing you. You have to go after what you want. You have to show a gumption. You have to show a drive. You have to show a fortitude. And you have to show a focus of purpose, okay, in order to access the gifts of the Venus and the Jupiter. And so the Venus and Jupiter together and in Aries will give you a youth and a strength to get what you want. It will also give you a sharpness of mind. Venus and Jupiter together, because of the Mars energy melding with the Aries, will give you the ability to triumph over injustice. Okay, that might sound a little bit highfalutin, but if you think about it nowadays and all the injustices we witness over all of our different social platforms and networks, there's a lot of injustice in the world. And there's a lot of times when bad things happen to good people. And so the Mars, because it's being supported in a benevolent way by the Venus and the Jupiter, is going to get you to act against injustice and to pretty much right the wrong of an injustice. Okay, so that's something else that is going to be blessed during this period of time. And that might be interesting for things like lawsuits or settlements, because Jupiter and Venus are two planets that very much have to do with that. And maybe, for instance, you might be on the wrong side of it, or your chances of success are diminished. The Venus and the Jupiter together in Aries is going to make you more robust. It's going to make you more virile. It's going to increase your chances for success. Mars, as an access planet, rewards fighting and courage. All right. So the Venus and Jupiter in Aries, their presence in Aries, they will reward your fighting, the good fight, and they will reward your courage. So they reward anything that you do that is brave. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm brave and you striding into battle. It can be like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I could do this. This feels so overwhelming. Oh, I wonder if there's a way out. I wonder if I can maybe make a call and postpone, delay, beg off. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to brace myself. I'm going to focus myself. I'm going to bring myself together, and I'm going to confront the enemy. Okay, or I'm going to confront injustice. I'm going to be brave. I want to run and hide, but I'm going to be brave. This is what I'm going to do. You do that. You act in that manner. And the Jupiter and Venus conjunction in Aries will reward that. Venus and Jupiter in Aries also bestow what the Greeks called kleos. Kleos is something that every warrior or every hero in Greek mythology or in the Iliad or in the Odyssey fought for. And basically, it translates in English as glory. But what it was a reward for having done the right thing or for having gone against the odds, for besting an opponent in battle. The more that you bested your opponent in battle, the more kleos you gathered. The closest word actually to kleos is renown. And that's not to be mistaken with fame. It's renown, because kleos means to hear. And more specifically, it means what people hear about you. Okay, so there's renown, and there's even a sort of insinuated reputation. You certainly, if you were a Greek hero, wanted to maintain your reputation for being unbeatable. Or if you were beaten down, you went down in a ball of flame. You went down taking down, 25 people after you. So it's very much a heroic code. And this isn't saying that you have to go out there and get Kleos by beating the enemy, like across the street or something like that. What it means is that your rewards will be rewards for actions and for deeds that are renowned. So maybe giving it a more modern shift would be something that's noble or ennobling, something that's heroic. Superheroes are a big deal nowadays. We get them everywhere on TV, movies, games, all these sorts of things. But heroes are famous for coming to the rescue of. And so anything where you are coming to the rescue, where you are championing, where you are advocating with renown, something that it will be heard of. It will be taken note of. It will be heard. It will echo around your place of work. It will echo around your neighborhood. It will echo in the society that you live in. Things of renown, kleos, things to be glorified, deeds of feats of daring do, where you go up against an enemy or someone who's difficult, or chances that are odds that are stacked against you impossibly. Okay, the triumph, and in some cases even you having fought the good fight. That in and of itself can bring kleos, it can bring glory, it can bring renown with these two planets conjoining in Aries. The other thing that is to be rewarded is audacity. Audacity is a wonderful word. It's often misinterpreted as a kind of arrogance or pride, but audacity really refers to a daring to. It is my daring to believe the best. It is my daring to do good. It is my daring to go up against impossible odds. It's the audacity. And that's something to be celebrated by Venus and Jupiter. Simply put, Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Aries could be when you get the girl or the guy, when you score the touchdown. Okay, this is putting it in very, very simple ways. But what we have to keep in mind is that Venus is in its detriment in the zodiac sign of Aries, and Jupiter doesn't really have rulership here. But what we have to keep in mind is that there will be some sort of cost that takes place vis-a-vis the reward. When I think of Aries, I often think of gladiators in the arena, okay, battling against each other. I mean, Mars really celebrates that kind of battle. And it could be the battle of two football teams going at each other, or it could be the triumph of good over evil in some way, and certainly in older times, a battle between two people. The person who won was seen as actually the person who was right or just or a good thing. Their victory was being rewarded by God, And I bring that in because whenever you're dealing with Jupiter, you're dealing with an element of God. You're dealing with an element of belief. You're dealing with an element of something being blessed. So this is here. But Venus does have a reputation in Aries of scandalous relationships. And Jupiter has a reputation in Aries of upsetting beliefs. But what it is that the relationship isn't scandalous just to be scandalous. It's perhaps the breaking up of a relationship because the beloved was being kept from you because they were in a bad relationship. Okay, so it's seen as just and perhaps is just, but it still results in a broken marriage or hurt feelings or something along those lines. We always have to bring in a Mars component. Another interesting example would be standing up for your beliefs and being rewarded for that. And that would be a very Jupiter and Aries sort of thing. The person that I can't help but think of right away is Colin Kaepernick, the football player who would go down on one knee during the singing of the national anthem. On one hand, it was seen as sacrilegious. It was seen as insulting. how dare you do that? How dare you insult the pride of our nation by going down on one knee during the singing of our national anthem? How dare you? This is awful. And there were patrons who were like, this is sports. It's not, it's not political belief or arena or entertainment. This is sports. We're here for just the sports. You can sort of hear the Mars in all of this. And he went down on one knee and was regaled, but at the same time, his going down on one knee was protest. And it was in remembrance of actually people who have given their lives for a better America. It wasn't done flippantly. It wasn't done to insult. It was done in the spirit of those who'd given their lives to make America a better place, to make it a better country. So that kind of sacrifice, that sort of willingness to become a target of hostility in order to do what you feel is right, this is a very Jupiter and Aries sort of thing, to have that courage, to have the guts. And he did pay the ultimate price. It was his career in football for it. Some people could argue, well, he got a career in other areas, but it was still a sacrifice. I mean, this was his game. This is something that he really was born to play and wanted to do. So that idea of the noble sacrifice can be connected to the Jupiter in Aries. It can also be connected to the Venus in Aries. Maybe you're involved in a relationship and you realize, like Humphrey Bogart at the end of Casablanca, that this isn't going to work, and that the best thing you can do is get Ingrid Bergman on that plane, And so, Humphrey Bogart at the end of Casablanca, where he walks her to, the plane, and she flies off with someone that she is with, and they're about their mission of peace in the world, but he has to give up his love, his romantic claim on her. That can be a very Venus and Aries sort of thing. So these are the ideas that I want you to think of. It's not just giving you good things, but it's good things that might also be associated to a sacrifice or cost, or doing something that's going to go against the grain of other people's insistences and expectation. So this Jupiter and Venus conjunction in Aries is not going to benefit everyone in the same way. And there are some signs that might not even see it as a benefit. So I thought I'd go through that very quickly. Obviously, if you're born under the zodiac sign of Aries, this Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your zodiac sign is going to be enriching, and it's going to be good. It's going to favor bold moves and risky decisions. Okay, so if you're feeling that sort of recklessness, it's not going to reward just a reckless decision. What it is what I'm thinking of doing is really reckless. What I'm thinking of doing is really risky. Is this the time to do it? Well, if you're an Aries, the answer is yes. Go for it. Okay. So for Aries, the Venus and the Jupiter coming together is go for it. Okay. So this is a go for it, type of thing for people born under the zodiac sign of Aries. Now, if you're born under Taurus or Pisces, which are the two zodiac signs that flank Aries, this might be the miss the boat conjunction. Okay, and there's a reason why I'm saying miss the boat conjunction. Aries comes between Pisces and Taurus. Okay, it's right there in between the two of them. So this Venus and Aries conjunction can be this feeling that you're being pushed to make a leap of faith before you feel ready to. Okay, if you're born under Pisces or Taurus. And with Pisces, it may be a feeling that you're being pushed to do this before you feel ready, and so you miss the opportunity because the time comes and goes. That's because Aries follows Pisces in the zodiacal order. And if you're a Taurus, the fear or the apprehension could be that it's come too early, that what you're being asked to do is coming too early and you haven't prepared, you haven't set things up, and so right at the time when you need to be like, voicing what you want to voice or going down on one knee or, doing something that's sort of bold and a bit reckless, as a Taurus, you may stop in your tracks and be like, and so that time might pass you. So this is something to keep in mind if you're born under either Pisces or Taurus, with how this energy may manifest in your life. Now, obviously, it's going to benefit people born under the zodiac signs of Gemini and Aquarius. How is it going to benefit? Why is it benefiting Gemini and Aquarius, and how? The conjunction of Venus and Jupiter and Aries benefits Gemini and Aquarius because Aries sextiles Aquarius and Gemini. And so that's why it will benefit Aquarius and Gemini. And how it will benefit them is that it will benefit them by rallying the troops. Because of the nature of the sextile, what you may experience if you're either a Gemini or an Aquarius is all of a sudden people are on your side. Or if you call people for support, or if you're like, listen, we have to storm the Bastille, okay, or we have to, rally against this unjust measure, okay. If you're a Gemini or Aquarius, you will find the support. People will be like, you're right, that is an unjust measure. Or the Bastille is a symbol of oppression. And it's been allowed to stand there for far too long. Let's storm it. Okay, so this is what you will experience with this particular conjunction if you're born under those two signs. If you're born under Cancer or Capricorn, you will find this to be a very challenging conjunction, okay? And the reason it's a challenging conjunction is because, of course, Aries squares Capricorn and Cancer. And what's the square? Simply put, well, Aries sees something at once and it goes right after it, all right? But Cancer and Capricorn can be very cautious about going after things that they want. There's a tremendous fear of rejection, and there's a tremendous fear of exposure, like exposing one's hand. And so the call to action may be like, okay, if you want this relationship, or if you want to do what's right, you have to do it now, okay? Because with Aries, and that's the other thing I really want to emphasize, everything is urgent, everything is now. And so Cancer might be like, oh, that's a little bit too much right now. And so I want to, I really want to approach it in my own particular way, or maybe even wait and see. And for Capricorn, it could be like, now, do you know how busy my schedule is? I have to drop everything and go and do it now. Well, it can wait. So this idea of wait is something. Cancer often sneaks up on its prey. Remember, the ruling planet of Cancer is the moon. It's named after the goddess of the hunt. So Cancers like to blend into their background and approach something stealthily. Oftentimes that requires waiting to see how things develop. And Capricorn is so busy with its own insane work schedule. That's something that can wait. I have these more pressing things. And so you want to be careful if you're a Cancer or a Capricorn, because you might miss out on the window of opportunity, because it's a short shelf life of action when you have this kind of conjunction taking place in the zodiac sign of Aries. Now, if you're Leo and Sagittarius, this is wonderful. Sagittarius's ruling planet is Jupiter. Jupiter is showing up in the zodiac sign of Aries. These are two fire signs that trine. So, this couldn't be better. So for Sagittarius, this is really the spirit of adventure. This is really a call to adventure. Sagittarius, go for this, rush after this. Here is not only will it excite your spirit of adventure, but it will also give you a sense of purpose. You can see that it's your destiny, or it's meant to be, or it will be incredibly riveting and exciting for Sagittarians, this conjunction. And for Leo is not the most adventurous sign of the zodiac. Leo, like the lion, likes to sort of like hang out in the sun and relax. Okay, but this will rouse the Leonine interest and fascination and spirit, and also rouse it to a spirit of adventure, to fight the great fight, or to achieve the great achievement. If you're born under Virgo and Scorpio, this can be a bit difficult. It's a mixed blessing. It's a mixed blessing because Scorpio, of course, is also ruled by Mars, so it understands the Aries mindset. And Virgo, although it has nothing to do with Mars, does understand an aspect of Aries, which is self-improvement. All right, so this is something that actually Virgo and Aries both have in common, which is self-improvement. So what may occur if you're with this conjunction, if you're born under Virgo and Scorpio, is a breakthrough. You may have you might have been applying yourself to something for a very long time, and then all of a sudden it's a breakthrough, and part of you might be like, is this to be trusted? But of course, it being urgent and of a Mars nature, it's like, Who cares? You've got a breakthrough. Go for it. So I don't see any sort of hesitation on the part of Virgo or Scorpio vis-a-vis any sort of breakthrough that this conjunction might bring. However, the question will be, is this, the realization of an overnight success? Is this a breakthrough that will finally be me turning the corner in my career, or pining away for someone, or life situation will be finally me turning the corner because of meeting someone, or someone opening a door for me? Remember the Venus quality of this, and also the sponsorship quality of Jupiter. So will this be, an overnight success, which has actually gone on for years? Will that be what this brings? Or will this be a one-hit wonder? Will this be like, I've got a breakthrough, this is wonderful, and that's all there's going to be? So question as to the longevity of this breakthrough, of this success, whether it's a one-hit wonder or something that you can really rely on to keep on delivering through the years. These will be the questions that are on the mind for people born under the zodiac signs of Virgo and Scorpio. And finally, if you're born under Libra, there's a bit of mixed news here. It's not going to benefit you. Okay, I'll just be open about it. It's not going to benefit you because it's opposite you. It's a conjunction that's taking place in the zodiac sign that's as far away from you on the zodiacal wheel. It's 6 signs away, or even the agricultural calendar. Libra is associated to the fall, not spring. So it's taking place very far away from you. So there's going to be this feeling of like, it benefits people you know, people you've heard about, people you're friends with, people that you want the best for, but it's not going to benefit you. However, what changes the dynamics here is that Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, and Venus is part of the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which means if you're a Libra, you've got a dog in this fight. In other words, you've got something to go with. Okay, you know one of the people in the winner's circle, okay, is a way to think of it, and you can either be like, oh wow, I know someone who's in that winner's circle, so I'll just be happy at a distance, or it can be like, hey Kim, right, Kim Kardashian, it's me, and it's the moment when Kim Kardashian turns and looks and says, oh, Beverly, up, okay, so this can actually be the way that it can work for Libras. All right, because the ruling planet Venus is in the zodiac sign of Aries. It might be the moment when Kim looks on over and says, and you enter, I know Kim. Okay, so this is how it can actually bring benefit to you. It may not benefit you exactly, it benefits people that you know, but you could ask the people you know to benefit you, and they will turn around and they will do so. And so that's one of the good things. The other good thing is that, because it's benefiting people around you, it may make you ask, well, why are they getting this and I'm not? And the answer might be because they're not afraid to take what's theirs. Okay, Libra can have a hard time taking what's theirs. They'd rather someone else go and get it and bring it back to them. Okay, so this being surrounded by other people who are enjoying good fortune, but you are not, you may ask, why are they enjoying it? The answer may be because they're not afraid to take what's theirs. That might be the sort of thing that gives you the push that you need. That might be the sort of thing that gets you to take the chance you wouldn't take. Opportunities are meant to be seized, not hemmed and hawed over. Okay, so with this wonderful conjunction of Venus and Jupiter coming together in Aries, it basically says that fortune favors the bold, and this may be the time to go ahead and take that bold risk or make that bold move. Conjunctions finish a cycle and begin a new one, just like a seed. Okay, so just as a flower blooms and goes to seed and drops its seed in the fall, in the spring, that seed springs and comes to life. So conjunction marks the end of an orbit. For instance, the last time that Venus and Jupiter conjoined in the zodiac sign of Aries was 12 years ago. So it brings to an end a cycle. Okay, you can sort of see that as a fulfillment of a promise, or the deliverance of something that you wanted. or the accomplishment or achievement of something that you sought. A conjunction can bring that, but a conjunction at the same time begins something new. All right. It begins something new. And it's not going to be something completely different from what you've gone before. We live in a story. We live in a story where we have actions and we have consequences. And so this conjunction may bring the fulfillment of something, but with the fulfillment of something also comes its consequences. Now, its consequences may be to benefit and to favor you, and it probably will, because this is a conjunction of benefics. But at the same time, these consequences may come at a price, and that might be something that you're also expected to pay or guard or defend in the weeks, months, or years moving forward. What also happens as a result, and this is going to sound a little cheesy, but I've seen it work. What also happens as a result is because of this coming together of Venus and Jupiter. They're coming together of Venus and Jupiter at the 12th degree of Aries. 12 degrees Aries kind of becomes imbued with the light and the energy and the glory of Venus and Jupiter having been there. So in a way, this 12 degrees of Aries becomes a lucky degree, or a degree of good fortune. Now, I can't say that I know how long it lasts. I don't think it's going to last 12 years until the next conjunction. It may not even last a year. It may not even last a month, but there is something that is imbued with the energy of these two planets at 12 degrees Aries moving forward. So just for a while, you might want to, if you follow these things in ephemeris, you might want to see what happens when the moon moves over 12 degrees Aries. The sun has not yet entered Aries. You want to see when the sun moves over 12 degrees Aries. You might even want to, we've got, a north node that's going to start traveling through Aries. You might want to see what happens in like a year or so when the north node moves over 12 degrees Aries. But it's just something to keep in mind moving forward. I'm not quite sure how long it works or how long it's going to have that power. It just might be a candle. It works for the evening, or maybe it works for something that's longer. But it's something definitely to pay attention to. If any of these things that I've described make any sort of sense to you, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I've got the volition or whatever, I would strongly encourage you to go for it, to have the volition to make yourself move forward and to make the most of this conjunction of energies, because of an anomaly in planetary orbit. Indeed, Venus and Jupiter will not be coming together again in Aries for another 23 years.
Did you know there's a whole universe that you can unlock with so-called minor aspects? Most astrologers don't even use them, but Master Astrologer Rick Levine calls them harmonic aspects, saying they're key to revealing the deeper, metaphysical dimension of a birth chart, including the creative, mystical, and unseen parts of ourselves and others. And if you want a taste of how powerful they can be, just listen to what he has to say about some of the subtiles in play during his February and March forecast.
There's one other thing that happens in February. By the 12th, Venus makes a septile. That's 1/7 of a circle to Pluto. Venus makes a septile to Uranus. Boom, boom. What are septiles? They're otherworldly. They're supernatural. Dane Rudhyar said they were fated. Things come out and things come through that were somehow in other realms. And like Uranus, it's like lightning striking. And I think the combination of Mercury going into Uranus's modern sign of Aquarius and all these septiles will awaken us to the idea that we don't see everything that we think we do. Of course, it's not lost on me that this is the first week of Foundations Level 3 course, and it's just such an overwhelming septile message that we get from the universe. I really think that there's going to be a bit of a wake up in mid-February.
If you're ready to uncover these powerful unseen aspects in your chart, join us for Astrology Foundations Level 3 with Master Astrologer Rick Levine at astrologyhub.com/foundations3.